Good morning everyone, welcome back to the next part of the workshop build. In today's video I'm going to be doing a little bit of backpedaling and fixing my issues or my problems with the siding installation. In the previous video where we installed the siding on the workshop, I forgot this. What is this, you may be asking? This is what's known as Z-flashing. This is a fantastical little galvanized piece of metal bent in a certain special way to allow you to not just have your whole structure rot out from the siding whenever you attach your siding and have flush joints, such as on the wall where the wall siding and the gable siding meet. I forgot to do this in my last video. Many people pointed that out, some in a good way, most in a arrogant way, but hey, that's people. I totally blanked out on the other video. I should have done this, I should have bought it. I don't know why, but it never crossed my mind. I knew about it. I've known about Z-flashing, but I don't know. I guess I had tunnel vision on the project. I just wanted to get it covered. We were fighting the weather, and now it's coming back to bite me a little bit. So my hopes are I can use my pry bar and probably my little 5-pound sledgehammer, knock out the siding from the inside on the bottom. Hopefully I can just kick it out enough to fit this in place and then nail it all back together. That's my hope, but I really won't know if that's going to work or not until I get up there and start beating the devil out of it. So let's go ahead and climb up there and fix my mistake. Let that be a lesson to anyone out there. Please do not forget your Z-flashing. 7.5 minutes just to pop the bottom edge of one panel off. I have 6 total to do, 3 here, 3 there. So by the power of math, probably about an hour's worth of work by the time I move stuff around like the shelf. There's the plywood and stuff over there. So I've not been outside to check yet, but I don't believe I've destroyed the siding either, which is good. If I have, I do have, I think, 3 or 4 extra sheets of T111, so I can recut these pieces if I have to. I really don't want to, but at least I have those in the event something goes bad. So here we go. Let's just get it knocked out, literally get it knocked out, and then we can move on to installing the Z-flashing and put it all back together. Have I said yet that I regret not doing this when I did the siding? Well, that's a little bit close. Oh wow, now we got plenty of room. Alright, that one wall's done. Now I'm going to flip-flop, squibbly-squat, do the wall behind you guys. But before I get to do that, I've got to move the panel, extra panels of panel, wood, whatever, you'll see it. Move it, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Alright, so you guys have seen what I'm going to be doing. I have this one side of the siding pried off. I got to do the other. In the interest of time and not to bore you guys, we're going to diversify the content a little bit. Angela's here and she has something that she wants to do.
I am going to go ahead and start painting, rolling the outside, and get some work done.
Wait, you're not saying work's not being done in here?
It is, but mine will have a more
positive,
big effect.
Yeah, you'll be feeling good about all the work you're doing, not just hating yourself for forgetting what you should have done.
Well.
All right, so we're going to transition to the outdoors, the great outdoors, and let you guys see some painting action, because otherwise you're going to see me do more of that stuff.
Let's go.
Whoops. There we go. All right, we're going to get asked about the color. This is Luxury Linen, and we picked it to match Angela's soap shed. It's about the consistency of Elmer's glue. Even though he kept it in the camper overnight and it didn't freeze and everything, it's still a little glebby.
Don't get your pants.
I know. I did not remember to bring any painting clothes. So whenever I start painting, there's a good chance I'm going to put on some pajama pants. Those are cheaper.
It's really annoying when you look back on it and it's like, well, that's soaked in. It needs another coat.
It is raw wood. Looks great though.
Well, that wasn't too bad. It was kind of a bummer to see how much it did soak in, so it's going to need a second or third coat. But hey, we got a good roller here, and I guess I'll go. I am on to side number 2 of 4, and I guess after this I'll start over again.
Alright, you guys can come back with me now. I'm ready to go and start attaching the Z-flashing and putting back the siding that I've really messed up. I'll have to really take close attention and see if I need to actually replace the entire pieces, or if the damage that's happened, this side's a lot worse than that one. But we'll see on this one. If there's really bad damage, I'll just have to cut new pieces. But let's go ahead and go over there and change the scenery to some Z-flashing. What I'm having to do is carefully go up there and pry off and make sure all of the nails are out of the way for me to put the Z-flashing up behind that piece. Some of them are still in the siding, so that's easier to pop out from the outside. However, some of them pulled all the way through the siding, so I've got to kind of pry the siding off, get my other crowbar, pull the nail out, and kind of wiggle it out. So that's what I'm going to continue doing, working all the way across this line, pulling the nails out to prepare it to have the flashing installed. We're on the back side of the workshop now, and I've got to trim the Z-flashing. As you can see, it is a little bit bent. I had to bend over this a little bit on both ends so that it would actually fit in the minivan. It's alright, we've got plenty to work with. I bought 3 pieces for this. These are 10 feet long, and I've only got 24 foot of length to actually use it for. So I was okay with that rather than trying to tie this flimsy stuff on the roof. So to cut this, normally you would have metal snips or something like that. I don't have anything out here. I thought I didn't have anything at all until I remembered I have this thing. It is metal shears that attach to a cordless drill or an impact driver, and it works great. So we'll go ahead and take this, cut my square edge, and we'll go ahead and start working on this side of the shop. Not too bad. This is really great for metal roofing. Really, really good for metal roofing. And also pretty good for trim too. I've got this side of the workshop siding pried off, and I have the Z-flashing started. If you'll notice, I had some blowout on that corner down there. I could take that whole piece down and recut it all new, but I've got some weatherproof outdoor wood glue, and I know when I glue that all back together, it's going to be just as strong, if not stronger, than a replacement piece would be. I'm not worried about any kind of water getting in it, and it's going to be perfectly fine. So I'm going to glue that back whenever I get to that point, but otherwise, next step is shimmying or putting the Z-flashing into place. Doing that Z-flashing was an entire pain in the patootie. No two ways around it. That was an absolute nightmare. I don't know if I wish that I had done it or just ignored it, but you guys know the truth behind that. That is that it had to be done. It really kind of busted up my siding more than I ever really wanted. Nothing was broken or messed up too bad to, 1, not be repaired, or 2, still not have the flashing behind it, cover everything, and keep it weather tight. I think what I am going to do though, even though I have the flashing, I'm going to put a piece of trim across this thing eventually, just to keep any kind of bugs or carpenter bees or anything from deciding that my new workshop is also a cool place to live as well. That is just going to be for aesthetics and bug proofness. It's not going to be considered a weather barrier necessarily. That Z-flashing is really doing the critical job, but I think it's really going to help in the end to make it so much nicer and, again, keep the bugs out of the shop. So Angela's finishing up painting the back side of the wall here. I'm going to go ahead and get a brush and a cup and start painting all of the vertical lines of the siding. There's about 7 bajillion of them, so I'm just going to start painting, and we'll see you guys when I got something else to say or the job's done. There's really no science to it. We're using some of these handy pale paint cups, whatever. They were at the big box store, and we're using a 3-inch paintbrush. So I'm going to start painting, and like I said, we'll see you guys when something cool happens or the job's done. Well, that is it. We are out of paint. Our 5 gallons of exterior paint went around the building once completely. and almost twice. This wall was our last second coat, but it also only went around as far as painting the joints one side, maybe 1.5 sides. So we got to get more paint, which is a bummer because we really thought the 5 gallons would have covered it, but not good enough. That T111 is really thirsty. Being raw wood, not even primered, it really drinks the paint up. So we're going to have to at least get another 5 gallons of paint. Hopefully that will do the job though. And honestly, we're also thinking about getting a sprayer. I mean, as weird as it sounds to get one now, painting it by hand is kind of no fun. Ugh. All right, we have the paint sprayer loaded up, and truth be told, I've kind of played with it and got it dialed in as good as I can say it's dialed in. So this is perfect for this kind of application where we've got to paint all the cracks, or the, I guess, recess joint, whatever, they're cracks of the T111 siding. I've got it set to the circle spray pattern, and that seems to be doing the best. Either way, this sure beats the heck out of brushing it by hand. So I'll let Angel get over here behind my shoulder, hopefully out of the danger zone for spray, and you guys can kind of see up close how well it works on this little side part right here. Much nicer, definitely much nicer.
Well, we just have a few touch-up pieces left on the shed, but I'm willing to call it pretty much done.
Yeah, I think either way the viewers are done with this subject.
I believe our next thing we need to do is cut trim and then get it painted and then put up. But that is definitely a different day, a different time.
And more interesting.
Different video. It is. And you'll get to see the little bit of contrast that it's going to have against the cream.
So do you remember how many gallons total we went through just to paint the siding?
We went through about 5 to 6 gallons.
That's a lot.
It is.
T111, some thirsty wood siding.
It was kind of depressing going down the first, it was actually this side, doing the first coat rolling. By the time I got halfway through it, I looked back and you could tell it was just like
Yep.
and sucked it up, and I was like, oh, come on, I just did that.
Like a sponge.
So it did have to require 2 coats on the main part, and then in the cracks, if you brushed it, it was just 1.
Yeah. Yep.
So
as you guys saw, we got to use a paint sprayer. We didn't go into depth on that because honestly, that's the first time I'd ever used one. My brother had a paint sprayer and he said, hey, you want to use it? So I tried it out today and it was pretty cool to get to play around with. But I think for this application, with that T111 being as thirsty as it is, the easier way to paint is by just brushing the cracks and really just slapping it on there like sour cream on a potato. Because the sprayer works fine, but you spray it and move on and you look back and that siding has made it look like you didn't do anything the first time. So for blank T111 like this, I think the best application method is just old-fashioned brush and roller.
yeah.
Still, it was cool to get to play with the sprayer, and I can definitely see needing to borrow that quite a bit in the future.
It was actually my first time using a roller in the way I did with the little mesh screen and putting it down in the 5-gallon bucket. But I have to say, it was a lot easier. You didn't run out nearly as much as when you just have the little tray and stuff like that. And we would definitely say that we're not paintologists or anything like that.
No.
We are just your average people just trying to get paint on the side of a shed.
Yep.
So if we did something wrong,
Sue us.
we
Wait,
did
don't
it
sue
the
us.
way that we wanted to do it, the way that seemed like the best way for us to do it. So
Yep. So I'm very glad that I brought my paint clothes today because I am wearing more paint than, well, I didn't
Usual.
get any paint last time. Yeah, I've got paint on my shirt, and Angela pointed out that I have some white freckles as well. So I guess I sprayed the shed and myself, and, well, I'm just a little bit whiter. Luxury linen Sam. Well, guys, that's us painting my workshop. There you go. I hope you were so riveted that you're sad to see it be the end of the video, but we're kind of glad to move on to something else.
hey, I think it is a big improvement on just the regular wood siding.
Yes.
And let me tell you, when it's bright and sunny out here, this thing shines.
Looks like a little farmhouse cottage on the property.
It is really cute.
If they only knew. Nope, it's a dirty, dusty workshop.
Well, guys, thanks for coming along. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And otherwise, we'll see you guys next time on one of the homesteads.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, so you guys have seen what I'm going to be doing. I've got one wall pried arf.
Arf.
Arf. You gonna go in cahoots with it?
Well, I'm not going to be able to see, but
Well, let's go to the back side of the storage shed if you want.
it's okay.
That an interesting enough shot? You can kind of, okay, cool.
The way that seemed like the best way for us to do it. So,
Yep. That was weird. Have we reached the point where we gotta do paint disclaimers? No, it's not gonna work.
next time on one of the homesteads.
See ya.
Bye.
And this one I do have an intro for because it all starts with a Z flashing.
Okay.
Wow, this video started with Z flashing. Oh, like 5 days ago.